to speak our heart and send it to people who need it now. We need to show that we care, and we need to try to be in alignment, not possibly in agreement, or if something's blocked, that's fine. But I hear a lot of people with a lot of things that they're talking about. We could debate this for decades, millennia. But please, can we, maybe if everyone agrees, and I'd like to take a temperature check right now. If you agree with going line by line, do up twinkles. And well, let me give the options first. If you do not agree, down twinkles. And if you stand aside, then just don't vote. Okay, so who agrees by a show of up twinkles that we should go line by line and try to get through this? Okay. Okay, and then who disagrees with that? Why do you disagree? Would you like to speak? Okay, so why don't you take it from here then? No, I'm done. Yeah, I'm done. But go ahead, and then we can figure out what to do.
Hi, I'm Melissa. I had a comment, which is why I did disagree, and that is because I wanted to shout out to everyone who's watching from all around the world, and shout out to Global Rev and all of the live streamers around the world, and ask that because this is the national gathering and there are so many people, whether they're disabled or handicapable or in jail right now, shout out to all of our prisoners of the Revolutionary War that might want to give input because they're on core links, shout out to Eddie Lepp or anyone else, and because we're here tomorrow, that I would like to open the line-by-line discussion to a sidebar for tomorrow so that we could get feedback from all around the world. So it's not that I disagree that we should go line by line, but only that I would like to revisit it because we're having a GA tomorrow as well. It won't be a FemGA, so it might not be as awesome as tonight's FemGA, but I think that we can talk to the facilitators tomorrow, and that way we don't have to run too deep into the spoken word poetry that people are setting up that I'm also a guest of, and I don't want to hijack this discussion, but I do want to remind you that Lori is participating in this GA, so if it's okay with everybody else, they're going to push spoken word until whenever GA is finished, but not past like 9 or anything. So, and we're going to do it just with the Capitol behind us. So we would literally be right here, but we'll wait until GA is done, in which case everyone can respond and get on stacks. Maybe you won't want to do stacks for that, but we'll be taking stacks. So you're all welcome. Yeah.
Should I go up again? Yeah. I agree. I believe it's frustrating for the people, maybe, that work due diligently and very hard on establishing a purpose in every word. However, I think that it's important to make use of this entire weekend, which is why people are here, and do it right. And in order to do it right and to have the words be combined of people's suggestions that were made earlier, which I'd like to reiterate, being more neutral and possibly using the word peace again if it was in there before. These are things that I think that should be discussed with other people's input worldwide, so that people can make a final decision that has a statement with no regret and hopefully good intentions.
So we could take a temperature check on that. I'm going to hand it back to the facilitators, but the last part of my comment is that I wanted to share also with the world and all of you active, amazing, awesome people that I got word from some of our revolutionaries and members of the media all the way in Abu Dhabi that they're running a hashtag campaign, Power of the Palestinian Children. And when I typed in the hashtag on my Instagram, it doesn't exist here, but it's huge in the Middle East, so I wanted to let you know to please share. The hashtag is Power of Palestinian Children, Power of the Palestinian Children, and please share your support that way so the world can know.
My phone shuts down because it gets so hot.
Mine too.
Okay, so is there anyone else on staff? Staff? Are we anyone else?
Well, the only person on the stack was me, and then I was going to leave so that way she can take it away.
Okay, so...
I think it's just phone number.
I don't know.
So it sounds like the general.
Yeah, I'm
consensus
replying
is
to
He's a
that.
good person.
Sally?
I'm
We all just
replying
want
to
to add
them.
the word peace,
This is
and I think
Jennefer's
that could be
phone.
done pretty simply by like the
Oh,
first
well,
line
this is
when we
it.
introduce ourselves as the people with the proposal. Just like at the very end of the sentence, put like in the name of peace, and then like here.
Oh, yeah. And then
But I think that
the URL.
probably cut the discussion down. And as
I don't really
I was
know.
there in the, like, I guess the doctoring of the doctrine, and going line by line, it's like, it just takes too long. I don't know, so that's,
Do you know the
I think
URL
it's a good idea
for
to
the
maybe
live
push
stream?
it for tomorrow, so all the people that are seeing me be awkward right now
Mine is
can
live streaming or
comment
Jane on live
online,
stream. It's on.
and then
It's on.
like take a poll from that, I guess. I'm gonna go now. You're all wonderful.
Thank you.
So much. Let's hear it for the stack taker.
Stream?
Stack as a national gathering.
My name is Jennefer.
No, no.
Trisha?
The
Yeah,
streaming,
Laura.
the streaming channel.
Lori,
The URL of the streaming channel.
Jennefer. You ready, Jennifer?
Yeah.
Can we have Lori first?
Yeah.
Sorry.
May I make one comment really quick for tomorrow? We'll have Mumble up. And we'll get Mumble connected internationally so we can have an international conversation here.
You can tell us what Mumble is after we finish.
Yeah, here, I got it. Just.
Okay, I really like what Donna had said earlier about how to go line by line. I really like that. And I did not feel comfortable voting in support when the temperature check was taken. It didn't include that. It might have been assumed to everybody, but I just really needed to hear that again because I felt that was very important. And I also feel that going line by line like that is good, but if some of us, let's just say we come up with an idea, people spent a lot of time writing that, and that's wonderful. But now is the time, and it can be now, as far as I'm concerned, and it could be tomorrow as well. Some of us might have another line to add, and I actually have one. It's very short, and it says,
Do we have a minutes taker?
I'm sorry?
Do we have a minutes taker?
No, we're right here on the.
Yeah, but we need written.
Well, we've got it here, the laptop.
I can't do that right now. Sorry.
I could give it to you to show to you because I have it written here, if that helps.
Yeah, because we can upload it.
Yeah. So to add that our moral principle is empathy. Listen to each other with your heart. Walk a mile in his moccasins before deciding anything. That's my offering. I was actually going to offer that separate from this as a proposal for Occupy. That instead of having demands, we would have Occupy morality. That's a separate thing, but this could be included if people feel that it connects and says what we want to say. Thanks.
Direct response, can you repeat that?
Yeah. That our moral principle, the moral principle of Occupy, is empathy. To listen to each other with our hearts, to walk a mile in each other's moccasins before deciding anything.
Jennifer, you're on.
First of all, it's my sense of the group that we're all pretty much in support of having some kind of statement in support of Palestine. I really don't like the idea of waiting until tomorrow's GA to revisit this. Yeah, there are lots of people who can't be here today, but you know what? The GA is made up of the people who are here, and we're here right now. So I would really like us to do it now. I don't want to wait, because maybe half of you won't even be here tomorrow. The GA's here. Regarding the line that was suggested, I appreciate that sentiment. Please let us go line by line. If we're going to consider this line, I don't like the word moccasin in it. It's kind of offensive to me. Yeah.
We just have one response here, and then we'll go to Nancy, who's going to be, we're going to be moving. So come on up. All you eager talkers. Gabriel,
You should
and
charge your
Nancy.
phone a little bit. Okay, I can hook it
I
up
had
to
a
this.
couple of questions. One is, you know, this does sound like a lengthy process, line by line. Maybe, okay, sorry, this is going to be, like, line by line, it's going to be kind of a lengthy process. Maybe we should think about meeting like an hour before the GA and going through the whole document, and then we vote on it, because otherwise it's going to be like, you know, hours. I mean, my other clarifying question is, you know, this same thing is happening all over the world. You know, this is like, I don't think I can agree to a statement that's specific to this one situation when the same thing is happening in Ukraine and in Egypt and in Syria and in Brazil. It's not the same in Brazil, but it's very similar in those other places. And I think that we should look past the borders, you know, as to like saying it's this nation's fault or it's this nation's fault. There's something going on worldwide, and my question is, can we agree to name each place where something like this is happening and look for who's responsible and attempt to indict those individuals and sort of have a trial of the people for them? I see a lot of downward twinkles. Why? May I ask why?
I have a direct response.
Yeah.
I've identified with what you said so much. I think that there are drone strikes happening because of our U.S. government in many different, but other war crimes and human rights violations. I have read month of assault and offense by specifically the Israeli government in Gaza using a lot of U.S. aid, and because right now and then focus on indicting the governments of any other oppressive nations at the time, because it still needs to happen and the public still needs to has been before.
I have a response. And who's next? Who else wants to respond?
I do.
So the same thing is happening in Ukraine right now, and no one is talking about it. Like, the Ukrainian government is bombing its own people with the support of our government. We are arming them and sending them money and supplies, and no one is talking about it. And the same thing is happening in Egypt. They're still getting military aid, and they're declared war against anybody who's a political dissident, you know, and these are things that have to be talked about. I will give a moral block to this proposal tomorrow if we cannot hold all of those who are committing the same crime accountable. This is not something, Israel is not the worst nation in the world. I mean, they've done some bad things, but, you know, like what we did in Iraq was worse. Like, more people died. And like, 1 in every 3 Iraqi families lost someone to death. You know, where's the Occupy General Assembly resolution condemning that? You know, I mean, these are things that we have to be, if we want justice, then we have to have the same crime punished in the same way, regardless of who commits it. And this is something, like I said, that's global. There are certain entities that are doing the same thing all over the world, and the root of the problem is not in Israel. It's closer to home than that. All right? Thank you.
I don't understand what you meant.
I have a direct response too.
What do you mean?
Clarification? I don't understand what you mean by closer to home.
By you know, like, where are the weapons in Israel come from?
Here.
Where do the weapons in Egypt come from? Where do the weapons in Ukraine come from? It's closer to home than it is in Israel. Thank you.
Who would like to respond? Jennefer?
Oh, I'm sorry. She was on second. She's got to do it. So you want to? Right. Okay. Samantha's here. Sorry. Okay. With all the systems in place, it's like, I think it's important that we stay on topic with the Palestinian struggle, because biting off more than you can chew and going kind of general by like broadening what we're talking about is exactly why nothing gets done. And I think like if you it's not that nothing gets done, it's that it clogs up the pipes, if you will.
Focus.
And yeah, if we can focus on one step at a time and do that really well, and then we can establish like a system amongst ourselves and how we like come up with these proposals and stuff like that, then we can gain momentum, and then we can get through more things later on down the road. But if we can like go with one success at a time, I think it'd be good. And as a suggestion for how we revise the thing, I think it'd be cool like if we reread the proposal and then everybody read or wrote their own sentence, like if they could revise or add something and then like group them up and then like insert them that way, so that way it's not sentence by sentence, person by person, like you guys could each make your own thought and then like conglomerate from that. Yeah, okay.
So after this last comment, we're going to go to Nancy, who we've got some process things.
I'm sorry, what was your name?
Gabriel.
Gabriel, I totally hear you, and I totally agree with you, and I would like you to please consider our goal in regards to Palestine, and if you block a proposal that you otherwise morally agree with simply because we don't include addressing all the other countries, I think that does a disservice for our group mission. And I will work with you, I will meet with you all tonight, all day tomorrow, and draft another statement that addresses your concern, because I totally agree with you, and I'm happy to spend my whole day brainstorming and writing with you. I'm committed to doing that, and I bet we could form a committee too of other people who would do that.
Likewise.
And so I would ask you, in order that we, as representatives of the whole entire country involved in Occupy, if you would please consider this very specific goal, knowing that the people here basically agree with all your other concerns because we all share them. But we want to be productive, and my sense is that we all want some kind of statement, and if it's not the perfect statement, can we please be a little flexible? And I've heard at least 10 times that we want to rehear it, go line by line, and I'm asking the facilitators if you could please step up and intervene.
Let me read the statement. Where is the statement?
I don't necessarily. I'm happy to.
And then we'll take a temp check if we want to do line by line. We're losing people by the minute. So I think we're going to take a temp check. So We in the 2004 Occupy National Gathering stand in full solidarity with the Palestinian people in their struggle for sovereignty and the right to return. We condemn Israel's serious violations of international and basic human rights in Gaza and the West Bank. We demand that the United States of America cease its complicity in genocide by withdrawing all foreign aid to Israeli military, made possible by taxpayer monies, and discontinuing diplomatic protection of Israel through the use of veto in the UN Security Council. We call upon the United Nations to impose nonviolent sanctions on Israel to end the ongoing assault on Gaza and brutal occupation of the West Bank, both of which violate the Fourth Geneva Convention. These nonviolent punitive measures should be maintained until Israel meets its obligation to recognize the Palestinian people's inalienable right to self-determination and fully complies with the precepts of international law as demanded by the Palestinian Call for International Boycotts, Divestments, and Sanctions, BDS. 1. Ending its occupation and colonialization of all Arab lands and dismantling the wall. 2. Recognizing the fundamental rights of the Arab Palestinian citizens of Israel to full equality. And 3. Respecting, protecting, and promoting the rights of Palestinian refugees to return to their homes and properties as stipulated in the UN Resolution 194. We stand together in solidarity as occupiers in resistance against Israel's violation of international law and human rights of Palestinians. That is the proposal. So, sleep on it. Let's talk about it tomorrow. Talk about it. Work on it.
Wait, we didn't consent to wait.
Okay. So, are we gonna go line by line? Let's take a time check. Any people want to go line by line?
And see what we can consensus on? Can we call for consensus line by line? Can I suggest that?
How many people want to call for consensus line by line tonight? There's a proposal on the table to go line by line.
And at the end of each sentence, call for consensus, see what we can consensus on, which sentence we can, which ones we can't.
So you want to consent, which one's the sentence you can?
Possibly all that, plus what we can't consent upon, that we carry that over to tomorrow. And we bring our consent upon, perhaps just a friendly amendment, just a suggestion.
A suggestion to take the things that we consent, see what we can agree with, and then work on it more tomorrow, and to bring to the larger group.
The ones that we don't consent on?
The ones that we don't consent on. So we can get through and solve something tonight by the lines that we do agree with.
And then eat dinner.
Dinner
is being served.
Oh, that's why people are leaving too.
Okay. So how does that sound to everybody? I got enough twinkles to go with that, I think. We have a proposal to eat dinner and then come back? Down, up. Okay. So we are going to go line by line. Is there something to add before that? Who wants to read the line by line? Would you like to come up?
All right, people, we're working.
Dinner is being served.
People are starving in Palestine.
Yes.
You're right. Well, I
We, in the 2014 Occupy National Gathering, stand in full solidarity with the Palestinian people in their struggle for sovereignty and the right to return. Temperature check.
Can you read it again, please?
We, in the 2014 Occupy National Gathering, stand in full solidarity with the Palestinian people in their struggle for sovereignty and the right to return. Temperature check.
Clarifying question. What do you mean by the right of return?
Well, in 1948, there was an event called the Nakba, where about 800,000 Palestinians were fled from their homes, and I think it refers to the rights of some kind of settlement where people who were exiled and their children can move back into those neighborhoods.
Are you essentially calling for the dissolution of the state of Israel?
No.
No.
So all those people would move back into the lands that were set aside for the state of Israel, right?
Under right of return?
Well, under international law, there is international law declares that if you're a refugee after a conflict ends, you have the right to return to your home.
Like the Jews were in 1948 when they returned to the land set aside for them after the Holocaust.
I feel like we need a one-on-one to maybe have a historical discussion with him.
I know the history, but I'm glad to have it.
Okay.
Wait, can you repeat your last comment?
I said I'm familiar with the history, but I'm glad to have a conversation about it.
I mean, like if someone could take him aside and they have a conversation, so he has more clarity.
I'd like to go line by line, and then we can have it afterwards.
But
Point of process,
So
please.
are you going to disapprove of that line formally?
Wait, excuse me, point of process, please. We agreed to go line by line, and we're going to take a temperature check, whether we agree or disagree. And then we'll see what happens. But right now, I think what we're doing is we're not having a discussion right now. If I'm not correct, whatever, we're not discussing. We're seeing what we agree to and what we don't agree to. I yield.
Okay, that's...
So do we have consensus on the first line or no?
That's the facilitator should direct the call for consensus, right?
You know, he made it easy. Just facilitators make things easy, so make it easy, and that's all. Let's do the first line, right? But then then there's an announcement from the organizers.
Oh, hi. I have two announcements. The food has arrived and is up in the usual place. It's baba ganoush and potatoes and green beans and muffins and other tasty things. And the second thing is, I know Lori has a poetry slam that is supposed to be starting at 8. Are you going to go ahead and start that, or is it postponed or delayed or what?
Well, I do not want to leave this.
Okay, if your announcement is over, can we continue? They're having a discussion. I did volunteer.
I didn't think you would. Okay, so just to let everyone know, the food and poetry slam. Yeah, at 8. That is. Thank you for giving me. What time is it now?
8:11. It's 8:15. So, all right.
I'm back, Lisa. Thank you.
Okay, we'll do this quickly. We'll do a quick temperature check for each sentence.
Okay, so did we do a temperature check?
Yeah, the first sentence did not have consensus.
Okay, so moving on to the next one.
We condemn Israel's serious violations of international law and basic human rights in Gaza and the West Bank. Temperature check?
Well, we're not simply temperature checking, we're calling for consensus line by line, right?
Okay, no consensus on that.
So there was a request to read, if you could read the line again.
Oh. We condemn Israel's serious violations of international law and basic human rights.
Yes.
I would add,
In Gaza and the West Bank. Sorry.
we condemn the Israeli government's serious violations. Speaking to what someone said earlier.
Okay, we do have one.
Because Israel can
Thanks for
also refer
remembering
to
that.
the Jewish people.
How about Zionism?
I think it's more like fascism, but whatever.
Okay, so do we have consensus on the edit?
We did it with the change.
We condemn the Israeli government's serious violations of international law and basic human rights in Gaza and the West Bank.
Okay.
Did that reach consensus?
Yes.
Can you highlight that? Make sure we know.
Yeah,
Okay, so moving on.
We demand that the United States cease its complicity with this genocide by withdrawing all foreign aid to the Israeli military made possible by taxpayer monies and discontinuing diplomatic protection of Israel through use of our veto in the UN Security Council.
Okay, we don't have consensus. So let's move on to the next line.
We call upon the United Nations to impose nonviolent sanctions on Israel to end the ongoing assault on Gaza and brutal occupation of the West Bank, both of which violate the 4th Geneva Convention.
We don't have consensus, so moving on.
These nonviolent punitive measures should be maintained until Israel meets its obligation to recognize the Palestinian people's inalienable right to self-determination and fully complies with the precepts of international law as demanded by the Palestinian call for international boycotts, divestments, and sanctions.
Still no consensus.
Number 1, ending its occupation and colonization of all Arab lands and dismantling the wall.
Yes.
Nope.
Where are we not
Wait
getting
a minute.
consensus?
We have a few.
Can we have that call again for that last sentence?
Ending its occupation and colonization of all Arab lands and dismantling the wall. No consensus. Recognizing the fundamental rights of Arab Palestinian citizens and Israel to full equality.
Okay, we have consensus on that. Consensus.
Respecting,
You marking
protecting,
that?
and
Yeah.
promoting the rights of Palestinian refugees to return to their homes and properties as stipulated in UN Resolution 194.
I need clarification about the UN
We're
resolution.
doing consensus?
No consensus.
Got it.
We stand together in solidarity as occupiers in resistance against Israeli violations of international law and the human rights of Palestinians.
Israeli government?
We didn't.
Do
Can we do a friendly
if you can
amendment?
read the line, please, for clarity.
Okay, should I?
Wait,
Oh.
what?
We stand together in solidarity as occupiers in resistance against Israeli violations of international law and the human rights of Palestinians. And a lot of people want to change it to the Israeli government.
We did consent with that insert on the previous one for the same reason.
Okay, it's changed to the Israeli government _S.
When we use the word occupiers, I suggest we use the word the Occupy Wall Street National Gathering, because as occupiers we sound like we're the Israelis that occupy. So that word does not fit in that sentence at all.
Excellent
I'm sorry, I
point.
had
Thank
to say
you.
that, okay?
What about we stand it together in solidarity as members of the Occupy movement? As members of
The Occupy Wall Street movement.
the Occupy Wall Street movement? Okay.
Can we repeat that with that?
Yeah, or as the Occupy Wall Street, or the Occupy Wall Street National Gathering would be more correct, because we're not Occupy Wall Street, we're the Occupy Wall Street National Gathering.
Okay.
And I mean, just calling us occupiers, it sounds like as occupiers,
Yeah.
we're the ones that are making this, and that's very
So can someone reread it with those changes?
I'm making the edits, so we stand together in solidarity as members of the Occupy Wall Street National Gathering 2014 in resistance against the Israeli government's violations of international law and the human rights of Palestinians.
Absolutely.
Okay, it looks like we have consensus on that. Am I right? Okay.
Did you mark it as consensus?
Yeah.
That's it. Okay, so do the folks who drafted the statement, do you have what you need to move forward?
How many were consensus on 4? And are they clearly marked?
Yeah, so it looks like we've got a few that were consents and a few more that weren't. So how should we move forward with that?
I have a suggestion.
Okay.
Can we take the evening, we'll consolidate the consents on one, set them aside, and then set aside the non-consensed on ones. And I'm going to suggest that our committee, with any new members, will communicate to take into consideration what we heard today and any other additional feedback, and see if we can revise those statements to reflect all the feedback, especially the concerns that we heard today, and bring back the non-consensed on sentences from today to tomorrow's GA.
How does that sound to everyone? You have
Addendum. Tomorrow's GA cannot undo what we've consented on today unless they have consensus to undo it.
Point of point of process. Right, yes, because that would be status quo. Status quo is what we consented on. Sorry, I'm getting fried.
I just wanted to make the same point of process. We just passed a proposal that had like 4 statements. I mean, we passed something.
Right.
And so whatever is done tomorrow is additional statements. It's a new proposal, but we just consented on several statements.
Just for clarity, can we read just what was passed right now?
Yeah.
Okay. Is that okay?
Okay. We in the 2014 Occupy National Gathering stand in full solidarity with the Palestinian people in their struggle for sovereignty and the right to return. So that was not a consensus.
No, wait, just read the consent ones.
Oh, my bad. Okay.
We're going to read the consent on statements.
The consent ones. We condemn the Israeli government's serious violation of international law and basic human rights in Gaza and the West Bank.
Consensed.
Okay, then there's a part we should recognize, like, we urge these considerations to be made. Number 2, recognizing the fundamental rights of the Arab Palestinian citizens of Israel to full equality. That was the consent one.
Okay.
And then the final statement, which is, we stand together in solidarity as members of the Occupy Wall Street National Gathering 2014 in resistance against the Israeli government's violation of international law and the human rights of Palestinians.
So is that
Those were all the consent on ones?
Yeah.
What about the United States going, the UN?
Did the UN sentence get consent on?
I'm not sure. I don't think it has.
How did you mark the ones that got consent on?
With a C.
Okay. So show me the C's.
Here's a C. Okay.
So before or after? Is it before the sentence you have
After
a C?
the sentence.
Okay. So.
Here's a C.
Okay.
Here's a C.
Okay.
I think that's right.
Yeah.
So just those 3?
We can review live stream to double check, but yeah, she got 3.
Okay. So congratulations, you got something passed. So
we're getting there.
Getting there. So it sounds like the next step is working as a committee and looking at the language in what was not consented on, and then bringing it to the GA tomorrow, Saturday. Does that sound good? Okay.
Can we post what's been consented upon to advertise the meeting of further work to be done? This way, there won't be the stuff that's posted and agreed upon. It probably won't come up for discussion. It'll be a working group for what's left to be done.
Where would that be posted?
On the NatGat page.
Who can do
from
that?
The GA meetings log, or I mean, it could be enacted transparency.
Yeah, I could give my contact info so people who want to join the committee to look at the sentences that were not consented on tonight, they can contact me. My cell phone is 541-514-9487, or just come up to me after the GA and talk to me, and I'll make it to a copier and make copies of what we consented on and distribute them and put it on social media, the ones that we did and did not, so people know what we did not, so maybe they could provide us with feedback in so many different ways.
Okay, so thank you everyone. So this is exciting because what we did last time at the FemGA in Philly is we broke up into 2 groups. One was a committee who passed the Declaration of Women. So it seems like when we have these FemGAs, we are looking to pass something and have some sort of body or statement that comes out of our Feminist General Assembly. So thank you so much for all your hard work and for bringing that to us tonight. And it's for the children. It's really for the next generation of kids out there. So I realize it's 8:24, so what I'd like to do is just kind of give you a history of the FemGAs. So FemGA was created by WOW. WOW is Women Occupying Wall Street, which was a caucus of Occupy Wall Street that includes women and female identified people and their allies of any gender. WOW works for gender justice and an end to gender violence, both inside and outside Occupy. Why a feminist GA? There are lots of definitions of feminism. Some people reject the word altogether. That's something the GA is grappling with, but we decided, we being WOW in New York, decided to use the word because we believe feminism powerfully sums up a worldview, one that rejects the domination of one group by another, be they men, the wealthy, or well-armed nations. So, well-armed nation. And so that's the history of it. There's more to it, some facts and information as to why the Feminist General Assembly was created. You can read it on Women Occupy, and I think Inter-Occupy might have some information as well. Okay, so if it's okay with everyone here, we're going to end our Feminist General Assembly. Okay, point of process.
Can we give people an opportunity for announcements?
Oh, yes. Duh. Okay, announcements. Come on up. Anyone has announcements?
All right, I just want to say everyone's still here. You are awesome. I mean, you are a diehard staying to the end of a GA. I'm a huge believer in General Assemblies and consensus. I think it's one of the most important things that the Occupy movement just spread throughout, all over. And that's why I'm here again. I'm a facilitator. I've spent a lot of time facilitating a lot of meetings like this. Thank you so much for your facilitation today. And I'm here because I believe we can take General Assemblies and consensus on a huge scale. And if we do it right and we do it effectively, can you imagine if 100,000 people actually came to consensus on a statement? You know, 100,000 people in North America or 100,000 people in the Middle East. Imagine if we could make this happen through technology. And I've thought about this a lot. I've designed software. I know how to do it. I'm just looking to see if anyone else thinks this is a great idea and wants to help at all. And you can help by just going to my Facebook page that I created. It's Global Consensus Project. Because if I find a way to build this software, I'm going to need people to jump in and try and use it and test it and help us work out, you know, because facilitation of 100,000 or 10,000 people, it's going to be hard. So we're going to have to learn some stuff. So, and I'm going to try to do an open space tomorrow, see if anyone shows up and I can tell people more about it. But Global Consensus Project on Facebook, and I got a Twitter account, or you can just come talk to me.
What's the Twitter account, please?
G Consensus, I believe is. And it's on the board that I have sitting over there if I said it wrong. But Global Consensus Project, you should be able to find the Twitter.
Okay. Any other announcements?
.org.
The lady was the 11:30 meeting
So, I was brainstorming the other day, and I kind of developed this long-term, like 5 to 10 year plan to make this country more democratic. And I want to have more feedback and get people's ideas and what they think of my plan. So I also want to ask people, should I make a proposal at the GA? Should I start a working group and get people's feedback?
I think the model that was today, you know, the group that's here, you worked on it, you brought something to the GA. I think that might help you know, clarify, because you'll have people who you know already know what you're doing and you have something to bring later, and you have some support, so you wouldn't have to teach everything. So working on it in the afternoon, you can make an announcement or you can put it up there in the free time.
Can you give a little summary of what it's about so we know?
Basically, I feel like a lot of Occupy groups have this this value of localism, but with a focus on international solidarity. So this kind of gives a framework for how people in individual states can target industries that are predatory to them and then reunite. And it's like in year increments, like suggestions.
I've got a proposal back there, a stack of them that I'd like to give everybody as they leave here, and I'd like to talk about it at the GA tomorrow. It's mostly where are we going from here with the Occupy movement, and these are long-term projects that I'd like to suggest that we consider embarking on as soon as we leave here, and that'll hopefully broaden the movement and revitalize it and allow something like what's going on here to happen perpetually on an ongoing basis forever, and where anyone who wants to take part can do so. Thanks.
Thank you, beautiful people. You may eat. Thank you very much. You've done a great work today. It was a wonderful day, and I applaud you all, really. And a special thanks to Nancy and Co-Pink for bringing the blanket, for bringing all that wonderful feeling, all that wonderful energy. So let's just keep it going, keep up the good work, and thanks a lot.
And thanks, Trish.
Can I request that you keep those notes on there, even though it's a white?
Hey guys, so that was the end of the Feminist General Assembly at the Occupy National Gathering here in Sacramento at the Capitol. We just consented on 3 statements regarding Palestine, and I will be putting those out on social media. It was really, really, really hard, and we have several other statements that we're not consented on. So the working committee is going to meet, like, I don't know, during dinner. And we're going to try to revise the sentences that we're not consented on. We've been working on this so much. So yeah, stay tuned. We'll live stream. I'll live stream the next GA. Look on social media. I posted it in my feed. We have another live streamer. What's your stream? Oh wait, let me turn the camera.
BUELL003. Thank you. BUELL003. I'm Michael Buell.
003 at live stream?
No, Ustream.
Okay, so that's our other Ustreamer. It's really hot here in Sacramento, and our phones are getting overheated. And so when our live streams go down, it's because our phones are overheating. But we try to get back up as soon as we can. Hey.
Are people chatting with you?
Some, yeah. So make sure you know all the live streamers and look for the statements of solidarity with Palestine. And if you have feedback for some of the statements that we're not consented on, look for those and send them to me or someone you know who's here. And
a plug for my Facebook page. Global Consensus Project on Facebook. You should like it. It's going to be a fun project, and we need developers and people to test it. How many people did that go to? 5?
5. I don't know who's
5
restreaming
viewers.
it.
You guys are awesome.
Somebody's restreaming it. I don't know who. I don't know how to figure all that stuff out. So yeah, if you have feedback, you can email it to me. My email is jenneferharper@gmail.com. It's JENNEFERHARPER@gmail.com. Look for the statements. I'm typing it in the chat now if you don't have my email. And forward my contact info for other people who might want to give feedback, or if you know anybody at all who's down here in Sacramento at NatGat, just try to get your feedback, because if you're not here, try to get to somebody who's here. Okay, I'm typing in my email, and we're having a great time down here in Sacramento. We've been doing activist stuff all day long. I woke up at 6:30 and kept writing the statements of solidarity and it's like 8:34. I have 1% left on my phone, and it's time for dinner. So lots of marching, great marches, lots of meeting cool people and stuff. Thanks for watching. Tune